I remember Yogi, our sweet Havanese, sitting next to his toy basket, maybe after nosing into it a bit. He'd stare at us silently. Of course, this was just after we had started our dinner, a few bites in. I suppose it was part of the marital contract, but I was the one who got up to play with him. Yes, I know, wrapped around his paw. Nikki and I called him Prince Yogi. He wasn't good at much, except loving us. We put Yogi down a few days ago. I don't regret a minute of our play together. It would have been so easy to choose otherwise. Lying on the floor beside the basket, I remember asking, "What toy do you want today?" There might be a soft whine. Then his head would plunge into the basket, nosing out toys, snorting and grunting, searching for this stuffed alien. Then a game of fetch. Lots of growling, lots of laughter. Soon his age would show, and he would sprawl, panting, the little green man at his feet, played out. Nikki and I would finish dinner, and then the three of us would spend the evening snuggling on the couch. Losing Yogi has been incredibly painful, mixed with moments of sweetness and insight. I've watched this grief unfold. I've wondered more than once, does the guidance I give others really work? Can I walk the talk? I've also noticed how different this grief feels from grieving my mother. That loss was more layered, more complicated to move through. This grief feels simpler, and because of that, some things are easier for me to see. Heat around the eyes comes, hot tears chasing just behind. My body tightens. This is my sadness. I remember to return to my breath. It helps me allow the pain to be there as it is, without trying to change it. The part of me that is in pain benefits from my attention, and I'm reminded that awareness of what is happening contains loving kindness and compassion too. Grieving Yogi's death has been my teacher. Something felt wrong. He was eating less, sometimes skipping his favorite treat. At the clinic, we sat in the examination room, waiting, smelling disinfectant. Yogi was huddled in Nikki's lap, trying to stay hidden. There was a steel table. The vet entered, friendly, Canadian. She examined Yogi, and her expression froze for a few seconds. She sighed. Likely an oral melanoma, later confirmed. Aggressive. Painful. Prognosis? Days to weeks. I felt something in me drop. 3 weeks later, Nikki said, "Let's walk Yogi to Starbucks so he can have a puppuccino." Whipped cream in a small paper cup. On the walk home, I stayed with the sensation of each step, the sound of gravel, the rhythm of breathing, the presence of Nikki beside me. Yogi lagging, but giving it his all. I knew I would be glad that I slowed down. An edge of dread crept in from time to time. It needed to be acknowledged too. A vet would soon be making a home visit to put him down. She sat down on the living room rug so she and Yogi could meet. He perked up, curious about her, about the treats in her bag. She was warm. He seemed at ease. 2 injections, the first to make him sleep, the second to stop his heart. Stroking soft fur, more treats, an injection he didn't notice. Gentle words, waves of sadness. Sleep. Snuggles. Another shot. Kleenex. Her fingers pressed the stethoscope against his chest. She listened. Listened again. His heart has stopped. He was still warm. But in a fraction of a moment, something irreversible happened. I felt the pull to turn away. I'm glad I didn't. I've noticed how things trigger memories and emotions. Toys, photos, walking outside, the empty chair in my office, Nikki sleeping without a black fur ball nestled in the crook of her knees. Memories flood in, along with emotions. When I return to the breath and allow it, I see that it is not only pain that is triggered, but love. The emotions that arise are both bitter and sweet. When I turn away, I may avoid the pain temporarily, but I also miss the sweetness of love. On Yogi's very last evening, I saw him sitting silently next to the basket. He was calling me. I lay down on the floor, softly patted him, rustled his ears. He wiggled subtly, played a little, gave me 2, 3 gentle licks. We were quietly together, Nikki looking on. When memories are painful, you might return to your breath, allowing things to be as they are, even when they hurt. You may find that sweetness is there also. Our son Jacob sent us flowers. They sit on a small table in the bedroom where we can see them. And leaning quietly at the base is the little green man